weeks after senior Congress leader Manishankar Iyer's chai dig at Narendra Modi, which horribly backfired, Rahul Gandhi has suddenly realized that personal attacks are a no-no. And so in an interaction with Congress spokespersons on Thursday, he said they should focus on facts and substantive issues and stay away from bad language and personalized discourse. The BJP, though, seems to have benefited from the tea boy remark, launching a campaign with Modi tea stalls ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. But is it possible for this campaign to become civil at all now, or is this discourse going to get more bitter as we go ahead from here? We have Madhukar Jaitley of the Samajwadi Party joining us shortly on this as well. But Sanjay Jha, let me ask you first. Why did Rahul Gandhi suddenly realize this 3 weeks after Manishankar Iyer said what he did? In fact, the day Mr. Iyer said that about Mr. Modi, he was singled out for praise at the AICC session, which surprised many.
No, I think I was there at the AICC session, and Mr. Gandhi praised Mr. Manishankar Iyer for his revolutionary work on the Panchayati Raj system, which was started under Mr. Rajiv Gandhi formally. So I think it had no correlation with that at all. But I think Mr. Manishankar Iyer is a senior leader. He's already explained his position. The critical point I want to make here, Nidhi, is almost laughable. That, while the BJP wanted Mr. Manishankar Iyer to apologize, and I do believe that no comment should be made which is inappropriate, at least even if its connotation is extended to that level. But the truth is, the word apology and Mr. Modi seems like two different ends of a spectrum. For a man who hasn't apologized for the gruesome deaths of people in Gujarat, to expect an apology over a statement from anybody else, I think sounds rather absurd. But the critical point here is that, end of day, Mr. Gandhi has repeatedly been mentioning that. I attended the first conference as well, where he said that he didn't want any Congress spokespersons or anybody else for that matter to indulge in any dialogue which would be termed as wrong, inappropriate, indulging in character assassination, etc. And I think we have all adhered to that. But, I want to make a point here, because the BJP is making a lot of sound and fury by talking about imitating your NDTV program perhaps. But I can tell you this, that it shows to you how intellectually bankrupt this party is, that it makes political capital out of a statement made by a Congress leader in a totally different context, and wants to tell the people of India that Mr. Modi is a martyr. I think, to my mind, that's the most disingenuous, distorted attempt to make political mileage out of a statement. And that's something that I want to tell straightforward on your channel.
It seems, because firstly, I heard what Mr. Iyer said, and frankly, there was really no context to it. It was pretty clear what he was trying to say. And Mr. Chari, many would say that the BJP has been smart to seize on that and create a campaign out of it.
No, on a lighter note, I think this belated wisdom on the part of Rahul Gandhi is going to badly affect us, because in Manishankar Iyer we had a great political manager for us. Now, every time he opens his mouth and every time he makes a statement, that gives us new ideas. And I don't know why the Congress should. I mean, they are also free to go ahead and emulate this chai wala idea if they want. They can have any number of tea stalls, and it's not a new idea. Of course, obviously Mr. Manishankar gave us the impetus to do this. As far as apology and other things are concerned, it is up to a person of Manishankar's integrity to do that. He could have easily said on the same day, the next day, and even for Rahul Gandhi to wait for, almost 2 weeks and then suddenly come up and pontificate to his spokespersons that you should do this and you should not do this, is also, I don't see any great sense in it. But it's all right if the Congress wants to keep their campaign on a low key without making any personal attacks. The kind of personal attacks that were made on Narendra Modi because he mentioned about his past, whereas there were certain unmentionable things also that some congressmen have said. Some other political party leaders have also said. One person even went to the extent of claiming whether, he wanted the license certificate.
But Mr. Modi has also personalized the discourse with many people over the years. You would admit that.
They did the same thing in 2004. They said Maut ka Saudagar, and then so many other things.
But hasn't Mr. Modi also done the same? And they've done it, but he's done it too. No, for instance, there is the whole Shehzada dig. He very uncharitably spoke about Sunanda Tharoor as the 50 crore girlfriend of Shashi Tharoor. That wasn't a very nice thing to say. That was a very personal attack.
You see, there has to be some sort of a decorum in public discourse. I do agree, but
on all sides.
But on all sides. But what is more thing? it is appalling that in BJP there are corrective measures on almost a daily basis, unlike the Congress, where it is one person who sets the tone and he sets the tone after correction after about 15 days.
Sanjay wants to respond to you, then
So
I'll come to Mr.
if he is going to
Jaitley.
do that, I am glad about it.
Yeah, now, I want to ask a question of Mr. Chari. Will the Prime Ministerial candidate of the BJP, Mr. Modi, apologize for the extremely rude, derogatory and insulting remarks made by Dr. Swamy, who is your spokesperson of the BJP, who on Twitter abuses our senior leaders like Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi repeatedly in the most vicious terms? Is Mr. Modi or is the BJP going to apologize, Mr. Chari? A question to you, please. Will you apologize, please?
Mr. Swamy says that I stand by whatever I am saying and I have got proof for it. So if Mr. Swamy says he has proof, if
I
he
hope the
says he
people
has
who are
got
watching
proof,
this program know the double
if he
speak, the
says he has
double
got
standards
proof,
of the BJP.
Mr. Swamy says he has got proof, and I think it is for the Congress
Let
party
me
to
bring
go
in
and
the
ask
Samajwadi
where are
Party.
the proof.
Let's bring another political party into this. Mr. Jaitley, do you believe that comments, especially personalized comments against Mr. Modi in particular, always backfire and end up benefiting him instead? They have in the past. And do you think the Congress really messed up and Mani Shankar Raya really messed up with that tea remark?
You see, Nidhi, one thing is for sure, that in public discourse and public life, decency, limits of decency and dignity must be maintained while giving public statements to whoever it may be across the political spectrum. I know that you are going to ask about other political parties as well, but one thing I can say, that neither Mr. Modi nor Mr. Gandhi have been less in speaking against each other. And if Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said this, he should also think that on the 16th of November or the 17th of November 2013 in Chhattisgarh election, what he spoke about Mr. Modi and the BJP and what Mr. Modi spoke before that on the 7th of November in Chhattisgarh itself. So Mr. Modi has a habit of instigating others and not thinking that what reply he is going to get. Similarly, what he did in UP in Meerut rally on the 3rd of February, in reply to which Mr. Mulayam Singh, the only dignified leader in the political spectrum, is Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav, who in his 47 years of political career, you can't find a single statement whom he has tried to insult anybody. And the dignity of Mr. Modi was also maintained by Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav while calling him Modi Sahab, Modi Ji, and he was also talking on the same facts as others were talking.
No, so are you saying that the person who has vitiated the discourse in the country today is primarily Narendra Modi and that everyone else is forced to respond to him? Is that what you're saying?
No, you see, point is, what I'm saying is, Nidhi, that in the last 12 years of his ruling the state of Gujarat, he could never bring a policy for the tea vendors of the country. Now, since somebody is talking of the tea vendors, they are trying to hold the chai stops and all these things and holding everywhere. They're trying to use it is the biggest insult to the tea vendors of this country. Tea vendors have never been given a single amount of benefit throughout his entire life. Forget his 12 years of ruling the state of Gujarat.
So he's taking advantage of this is what Mr. Jaitley is saying, but I think he's also saying that he primarily sees Mr. Modi as being responsible for this bad atmosphere. I
don't see how Modi is responsible. Absolutely. I mean, if he is not responsible for...
No, Modi is a holy cow in their eyes.
See, if Modi is not responsible for sprucing up the lives of tea vendors in Gujarat, I am sure equally he is not responsible for setting this tone and tenor of this political party. It was the Congress party which primarily thought Modi is not a challenge. They tried to brush him under the carpet. They said we are not worried about him. And then after the Prime Minister of the Congress UPA said that look, yes, I think we should take him seriously. Then suddenly they started taking him seriously. Now when they didn't know how to respond, and they have gone on to this kind of
Congress apart for its bad language. But would you admit that Mr. Modi also needs to tone it down? I mean, there are things he said about Ajit Jogi, saying apahij, saying agar madam bimar hai to bacche ko kaam do. The tone of that is just, for someone who wants to be the Prime Minister of India, doesn't gel really well.
At the back of the mind of every individual, ultimately there are certain things that come up. Historically it have come up. Everyone has a language. Some people can mess up. I mean, a non-Hindi person can make mistakes in Hindi, a Tamilian can make mistakes in English, so many other things are there. So, what is to be seen is the vehemence and vengeance with which you criticize an individual like Mr. Manishankar Iyer did. In a due political course, in a due political course, if you say this,
but then I come back to the 50-year-old girlfriend. That was an apology.
His remarks are most unbecoming of a man who wants to be Prime Minister.
So were Mr. Iyer's remarks. Mr. Iyer's remarks were seen as deeply, downright obnoxious and offensive, Sanjay.
No, even Mrs. Sonia Gandhi's remark about Maut Ka Saudagar.
That actually helped the BJP in its campaign.
And the problem, Nidhi, is that, politics has become...
in all honesty, our senior leaders on the very day of the AICC session, without even going into the details, they said that if that remark has been misunderstood or misconstrued, we apologize for that upfront. It should not be said. I think our senior leaders already said that. You try to find any documentary evidence or any video evidence of any rebuttal from the BJP leaders for the comments.
Mr. Manishankar Iyer,
it's shocking, and the lies. And it's not just the comments he makes, the lies when he says that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was not there at Sardar Patel's funeral.
I mean, today, Mr. Manishankar Iyer has not even apologized.
It's not just the Congress apology.
You're going to pat on the back from Rahul Gandhi on the same day that he made these remarks.
And so he was there very much. Rahul Gandhi, if he felt that he should make a corrective statement, he could have made it on the very same day.
Rahul Gandhi ji patted on the back for the Panchayati Raj efforts of Mr. Manishankar Iyer.
Let me speak. The problem is that our politics have moved away from issues to personalities. It's entirely now personality driven, and I think that's what's really giving rise to these highly personalized and sometimes quite abusive remarks. So unless we go back to issue based politics, if we're going to concentrate on the Gandhis or Narendra Modi, the BJP is now following the same path as all the BJP didn't do this earlier, but the BJP also now is following the same path as the Congress and all the regional parties. So everything centers around one individual, and that's the problem. That's why it's so personal. Absolutely, and that is why
leaders and their spokespersons
absolutely. And this is going to be a really bitter election campaign, because somehow the stakes have become very high for everybody. It's become almost sort of imperative. The whole thing has become imperative to win as many seats as possible so that you can be a mover and shaker in the next government.